Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Happy October, one of my favorite months of the year. You can see I have my pumpkins out. I am so ready for fall. I have been for a couple of months actually. But perhaps even better, today we're talking about my favorite products and things from the month of September. I have some really fun stuff here for you guys today. A lot of new things because I did try out a lot of new products in September. I have a repeat item in here and a couple of non-makeup related favorites that we'll get into towards the end of the video. Very excited about it. I hope that you guys are too. Welcome to those of you that are new to my channel. I hope that you'll stick around, and if you enjoy this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and make sure that you subscribe before you leave. And with that said, let's just jump right into it. So this last month, you guys, was the month of the eyeshadow palette. I tried out a ridiculous amount of eyeshadow palettes this last month. I often make the claim that I am very budget conscious. I don't like to try out or buy too many things. I feel like I'm gonna have to redact that statement this last month because I don't know what happened. Perhaps it was me doing a full month of nothing new in August and not buying any makeup products, all the fall releases that have come out, but I just kind of went crazy and tried out way more palettes than I typically do. A couple of those palettes I feel like the verdict is still out on. I liked most all of the ones that I tried. Some of them I do still need some more time with, but there is one that if I had to pick a favorite palette from the month, I'm gonna have to go with this one right here. This is the Natasha Denona Glam palette. It very slightly pains me to ever recommend a very expensive eyeshadow palette like this because I know that you can find really good quality eyeshadows for a much more affordable price. Even though it's one of her more affordable palettes, it is not affordable by any means. It is still a $65 palette. I did do a review and some comparisons on this palette, so I will link it for you guys right here if you didn't have a chance to see that. And when I first tried it, I really liked it, but I was kind of worried that this might be a little bit too much of a blah sort of palette because as you can see there is not any color in this palette. It does appear at first glance to be very blah, but there is a time and a place for blah, and I think when blah is done correctly it can be very, very beautiful, and that's exactly what this palette is. Now I will say individually there are quite a few shades in here that you could probably find similarities to within your own collection if you do have a larger, especially more neutral collection. But if you don't have a lot of neutral eyeshadows and if you do not like warm tones and you want something a little bit cooler, this is a beautifully done palette. I cannot deny that I have been really enjoying this palette. The looks that come out of this, they're very, very cool toned and smoky without being too smoky or too over the top or dramatic. You certainly could go dramatic with this because you do get a couple of really deep shades in here, but the sparkle inside here is so beautifully done. I actually think the variety between the sparkly shades in here is more varied than even in her bronze palette. I felt like the shimmery warm bronzes in the bronze palette, while they are beautiful, a lot of them look very similar on the eyes. I don't think these ones look similar on the eyes, maybe with the exception of these two right here. They're slightly similar, but everything else in here is quite varied. You get some very, very gray tones, some more gray browns, you get a couple of rosy pinks, a beautiful cool toned or even kind of bridal toned palette. I did mention that this is the palette I would pick if I was to pick a palette for my wedding day. This would be the one I would go with because it just is so glamorous in the most subtle way. Of all the ones that I've tried in this size, and I do have them all now, this I think is my favorite so far. Ooh, that's tough. I do love the Sunrise palette. That one would be very close, but this one it's beautiful. I absolutely love it. I am wearing this palette on my eyes today. I basically just went in with these mid-tone browns in my crease, deepen things out with this brown right here, and then I have this gray shimmery shade, kind of pewter shade on my outer lid, and this lighter kind of champagne gray on my inner lid, and that is all I did for this look, and I think it's absolutely beautiful. I don't love recommending expensive eyeshadow palettes. I do think there are some alternatives to this out there, not dupes, but I think alternatives. Check out that video if you want to see what those are, but I cannot deny that I have really fallen in love with this palette this past month. But perhaps a full eyeshadow palette is out of the budget for you, and maybe you're just looking for something small. This single eyeshadow right here from ColourPop I love. This is in the color Ladybird. It is a beautiful kind of shimmery shell pink, and by shimmer I mean this is very, very shimmery. It's very glittery. Not a chunky glitter at all. It's a very sheer glitter, but this gives you a lot of punch, a lot of sparkle to your eye look. Look at how intense that is. It looks so pretty with absolutely anything you put on your eyes. If you like the look of a really bright, sparkly inner lid or inner corner, this is such a perfect shadow for that. If you haven't tried the ColourPop Super Shock shadows, they are more of like a creamy formula. I think I now have 4 or 5, but of all the ones I have, this is my favorite so far. I just think this looks so, so pretty. If you do like that bright, sparkly lid without using a chunky glitter, this is the way to go. Love this. And while we're on ColourPop, I also wanted to mention this Luxe Lip Oil that I tried out in the ColourPop video where I featured this in a couple of their eyeshadow palettes. But this Luxe Lip Oil really stood out to me in that video. Now the reason that I especially like this is it's such a unique formula. It is extremely comfortable. If you are someone that that maybe likes the look of a lip gloss or the idea of a lip gloss in that it's something you can just kind of throw on your lips, it's not going to give you too much color, easy to wear, easy to travel with, kind of goes with anything, but maybe you don't like the feel of a lip gloss or you're very sensitive to sticky lip glosses, this is the ultimate product for you because this is like a gloss that has zero sticky factor to it at all. This is so comfortable and smooth and soft feeling on your lips. I have it on today, but I am wearing a lipstick underneath. So I have the Flower Beauty Naked Blush lipstick underneath. This one I have is in the shade Skinny Dip. Now this one doesn't give you a lot of color. It's a very sheer kind of milky peach color. You'll see, you can barely see it on my hand. So if you're looking for color, this specific shade is not going to give you a lot of color. I can still wear it on its own. I prefer to wear this with a lip liner or a lipstick underneath. But what I love especially about this is not really the color, it's more just the formula. It is just so comfortable. I'm very curious to try some of their deeper shades out in these because they are a little bit more sheer. So I would imagine that a deeper shade is not going to be too deep. Let me know if you guys have other shades of these that you've tried that you really love because I'm very interested in picking up a few more. Let's talk about a couple of blushes. Now, just like this last month was kind of the month of the eyeshadow palette, it was maybe simultaneously the month of the blush. I tried out a lot of blushes. In fact, part of the reason for that is I have plans to do like a blush compilation video of new liquid and cream blush formulas, kind of like a best of the blushes liquid and cream style. I don't quite know how I'm going to structure that video yet. So in an effort to prepare for that video, I have been kind of accumulating some different blushes. So I have a couple here that I want to mention that are kind of standouts for me that I've really been enjoying reaching for. First off, this one right here, this is for MAC. This is their Glow Play blush and I have it in the color Grand. So many of you guys have recommended these to me in a variety of different colors. A lot of you seem to love this formula as well and I love it. I agree. I think it's absolutely amazing. The best way I found to apply this, as with almost any cream or liquid blush that I have tried, is with my stippling brush. Specifically this one right here, I'll link it for you guys down below. This is like the ultimate cream and liquid blush stippling brush. Wow, that was a tongue twister. But I really love this. I think it's great. Now I do think there are some affordable options that are similar to this, one that we'll be getting to in just a second. I'm still playing around with lasting power on this compared to the affordable option. I want to do maybe a side by side. I will try and give you more details on that in the future blush video that I have coming up. It may be another month or so before that video goes up because you guys, I'm telling you, I have so many blushes here that I need to thoroughly test before I do that video, and I really want to have like a good idea of what is the best of the best. But in the meantime, I've been loving this one. I love reaching for it. It's a very easy to wear blush when I want something that's just a basic peachy pink. Let me swatch it for you guys so you can kind of see how these blushes swatch side by side. I know blush swatches don't always show up the best because they are a little bit more subtle, but there it is right there. Nice basic peachy pink, beautiful, beautiful color, and great formula as well. Another one that I really love, and this one does remind me a little bit of the formula of the MAC ones, is this ColourPop Super Shock blush right here in the color Between the Sheets. I love the color of this blush. It is very different than the MAC color. This is much more of like a rosy pink. Hopefully you can see that right there. It does have a lot more of a cool undertone to it. It's also a lot more squishy, but the way that these kind of go on and perform, it's very, very similar in my opinion. I had never tried out the Super Shock blushes until recently, and I love this. I think this is a beautiful formula. It lasts really well on me. It's very easy to apply, and I might even prefer this color even more, especially going into the fall. I just love a cool tone blush in the fall. So if you're looking for an affordable alternative to the MAC ones, and you haven't tried out the ColourPop ones, while they're not identical, they do remind me a lot of each other. Another new blush that I've really loved this month is this right here. This is the Juicy Ping Water Blusher, and this is a new shade. This is in the shade VL03, I believe. So hard to find the shade names on here. Yes, VL03. It's kind of a violet purpley color, but it has a little bit of pink to it as well. It actually reminds me a little bit of that color Between the Sheets once you kind of sheer it out. Does have a little bit more of a cool undertone to it, but this is so pretty. If you like a truly cool toned blush that's also kind of brightening at the same time, you will absolutely love this. It is so beautiful and very unique and different than any other color that I have, but it's not so purple that it's weird, if that makes any sense. You guys know I love this formula. I have been talking about it for months. I now have 4 shades of these, and I will, again, try and give you guys an update on those shades and on those blushes. But if you're into a cooler tone blush, you can find this one on Amazon. It's around $10, or it was when I bought mine about a month ago, and it's absolutely stunning. I love these blushes so much. They're you guys know, are some of my favorites of all time. Lastly is the blush that I'm wearing today, and this is a newer addition to my collection. I've only had this for about 8 days now, and it is from Hourglass. This is the blush in the shade Mood Exposure. I did just feature this in a very recent video. I have had it for longer than that. I kind of sat on that video for a while because I got sick, and then we had landscaping stuff going on. Life happened. That video went up a little bit late, but I have been trying this out for the last like 6 or 7 days straight, and I love this blush. It is the one that I'm wearing on my cheeks today, and I really wanted to wear this one especially today because in the video where I featured this blush, I didn't notice this while I was filming, but I felt like after I applied my highlighter, which is this milk highlighter that you'll see in that video, it kind of made my blush turn a little bit gray, so it looked a little bit weird on me on camera. Hopefully it's looking a little bit better today. I love how this looks in person. It's a very nice dusty rose, almost cool toned mauve sort of color. It's beautiful for fall if you like a cooler toned blush. And if you have medium to fair skin, I love the Hourglass blushes. I know their products are super expensive, but I do think their blushes are beautiful. I love both the blushes in my Ambient Lighting Edit Ghost palette, as well as the bronzer in that palette and the mini bronzer that I have, and now this blush right here. I think this might be my favorite of the bunch. It's just such a beautiful color if you like a cooler tone blush that's more neutral and kind of natural looking. 2 more makeup products. Let's start with a repeat. This is the Thrive Cosmetics mascara. I know that I've mentioned this in at least one favorites video before, but I have to tell you guys, this is the mascara that I just keep going back to. Here is how my thought process goes when I'm getting ready to put mascara on for the day. I think, what do I have going on today? Am I going to be outside, and is there a chance that my eyes could possibly water? Or is it going to be a very long day and I need something that is just going to hold up? If the answer to any of those questions is yes, I always pull for this mascara because it holds up so well to watery eyes. Now, I have heard from one of you that wore this swimming and ended up with flakes all over your cheeks after you were swimming. I can imagine how that would happen because the thing with this mascara is it does hold up to water as long as you're not doing like a pinching motion. So if you were, say, in a pool and you got out and you kind of, you know how you like wipe your eyes like this when you're swimming? Any sort of pulling motion with water on your lashes is going to pull the mascara off. But if you are just outside and you have watery eyes and you're kind of just wiping at them a little bit or dabbing at them, even if you're doing that repeatedly, as long as you're not pinching, this will stay intact. I know that sounds a little bit odd. If you've tried the mascara, you'll know what I'm talking about, but I just love this so much because it's easy to remove at the end of the day, and as much as I love and often need a waterproof mascara, I really don't like how hard waterproof or water resistant mascaras are to get off. I feel like they're hard on my eyelashes as well. This is much more gentle on my lashes, but it holds up incredibly well. Absolutely worth the price. There are not a lot of mascaras that when they run out, I feel like I need to buy them again immediately. I can promise you guys when this runs out, I will be buying it again because there's nothing that I've tried that is like this. I think it is absolutely worth it for what I need for my mascara. Last up is a foundation that I have fallen in love with over the last week, and is the Estee Lauder Futurist Hydra Rescue Foundation. This is a pricey foundation, much more pricey than I like to go for my foundations. I can guarantee you guys this is not going to be an everyday foundation for me, but I love it for a special occasion foundation because it looks so good on my skin. It holds up really well. I have only had this for 8 days now, but I've worn it 6 of the last 8 days when I have been wearing foundation. I've been wearing this, and I absolutely love it. It looks great by the end of the day. It lasts a good, I would say, I think 10 hours is the most that I have worn this. It holds up really well. I have worn it underneath a white mask. It wasn't completely transfer proof, but it was very resistant to transfer. So I think it held up better than most of my foundations other than the L'Oreal Infallible. Honestly, you guys, that is the only foundation that completely does not budge underneath the mask. But more than anything, I just love how this looks on my skin. It has a really nice kind of soft focus glow to it that just looks really healthy and natural. I am wearing it on my skin today. I don't find that it gets overly dewy or greasy throughout the day, but it also isn't matte. I do not like really matte foundations on me. It's not too heavy. It's a good solid medium coverage. The shade match is perfect for me. I have it in the shade 2W1. Really love this. I wish it wasn't so expensive. I'm happy to have this as a good lunch date or date night kind of foundation. Those days when I want my skin to look extra good, like maybe I have someone to impress. No, I have no one to impress. My husband's already thoroughly impressed and thoroughly unimpressed by my makeup. But when I want something special, or if you're looking for something a little bit more special and high-end and those claims sound like something that you would enjoy, I do recommend this. I really have been loving it. That is it for the makeup products. I have a couple more things. One more is a nail polish. I have the set here from Olive and June. This is their fall collection. They did send me these in PR. I do get their nail polishes in PR. I want to get that out of the way. But you guys, I would spend my money. Maybe not on the full set, but I would spend my money on these nail polishes because I do think they are amazing. Here are the colors that came in their fall set. I love all of these colors. The only one I haven't tried out on my nails yet is this kind of peachy orangey, light orangey peach. I really love them all, but let me tell you the two that I love the very most. And it would be these two right here. This is the deepest. It's like a brown toned red, which I love a brown toned red in the fall. It's a beautiful like brown berry. Is that a thing? No. Love this color. I did have this on my nails in a couple of recent videos. Go back like 2 or 3 videos and you'll see this on my nails. This one held up probably better than any of them that I've tried so far. It's funny how, and I find this true with other brands as well. There are some colors that hold up better than others. And while I think all of their nail polishes hold up really well, this one, I don't know if it just happened to be what was going on in my life that week, but this held up with the top coat on top for a solid 6 days. And I've said this before, but I'll say it again. I'm really hard on my nails. Not a lot of things hold up for more than 2 days on me, but this one really did, and I absolutely love the color. I also really love the green color. This is such a perfect green, you guys. I love this shade of green. It's like almost a blue toned green that's not too blue. Like it's right there in between like a brownie green and a blue toned green. It's just like a solid good green that's not too deep or too bright. It's just a good fall shade that looks good with just about anything. You might know how much I love the color green when it comes to eyeshadows. I also love it on my nails, and this is by far the best green nail polish that I've ever tried. It's so, so beautiful. Last thing, totally non-makeup related, and it is a new boot that I got. I actually literally just pulled this off of my foot. This is a bootie that I picked up on Amazon from Sam Edelman. I'm a huge fan of Sam Edelman boots. This is my 3rd pair in the last 6 years, and the other 2 pair that I have, I still wear. I have them both. One is suede and one is a tall riding boot that is leather. They are so amazing. They hold up so well. You never get separation here on the toe. I'm so rough on my boots. So anytime I buy a bootie that is not really well built, they never make it even through one season. But these Sam Edelman boots, I mean, these ones are new. I can't say that yet, but the ones that I've had so far, they are workhorses. They last really well. They are real leather. I think when I ordered these about 5 weeks ago for this color, which is the cognac color, and in my size, which is an 8.5, I got these for $57. I believe they're closer to $60 now, but I'll link them down below for you guys. I love them. They are so cute. They have the little ankle detail right here. There's no zipper. They just slide right on. They were a little bit snug when I first got them, but they have broken in beautifully. They are so comfortable now. I'm so excited about these. I love a good bootie. I've been needing a pair because the only other bootie I have that's still in good condition is suede, and I can't wear those when it's snowing or raining outside, which is a lot of the time in the winter. So very excited to have these for this coming fall and winter. The color I feel like goes with anything, even goes with black. Remember the days when you couldn't mix black and brown? Well, I still do it. Is that still a thing? All right, you guys, and that is it for my September favorites. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully you enjoyed seeing some of the things that I've especially loved over the last month. I would love to know what things you guys have really been enjoying recently, whether that be makeup products or lifestyle, whatever it is. Let us know down below. Thank you again for stopping by today. If you are not yet subscribed, be sure to do that before you leave, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye. I can totally imagine, and I can that word that. Is there anyone out there that gives lessons in how to have a good British accent? I would totally pay for that, just for the joy of sometimes breaking out in a British accent. I feel like that's a life skill that I would really love to have.